I'm Mark Peel, and I'm the owner, executive chef, Campanile Restaurant. I don't think there was an era that was particularly difficult. It's always hard. It's always hard because there's always training that has to go on, always people that make mistakes. I mean, even now, 23 years later, people will make a mistake and I'll look and I'll go, come on. And then I have to stop myself and realize, I've been here 23 years, but they've been here 2 weeks. I think my greatest joy in being a chef is twofold. One is the food, and two, it's the people. I grew up Southern California and Northern California. Nobody introduced me to cooking when I was growing up. I kind of did it on my own. And it was a fluke, really. When I was in high school, I needed a job. The first job I found was washing dishes in a restaurant in Healdsburg. Healdsburg is kind of the epicenter of the Sonoma County wine industry. It wasn't at that time, it was a little cow town. So I would wash dishes and I would help the chef, and we were cutting steaks, they were butchering chickens and making stocks, and I was fascinated and working very, very hard. The most important teacher, mentor, I think, was Wolfgang Puck, for sure. When I decided I liked to do it enough to do it really professionally, I cast around and found Wolfgang and ended up working at Ma Maison in 1975.
And Spago was the restaurant that really inspired us. I mean, Nancy and I.
I was the head chef there under Wolfgang when it opened. And that really gave me a lot of freedom because I could go out, I could reach out and find these farmers who's really proud of what they do and don't want their product to go just into the mix. And Wolfgang was incredibly encouraging as well. Yeah, do that. Fine, let's go. And there was a lot of fermentation, a lot of experimentation, a lot of excitement, and we wanted to be a part of that. You know, the night we opened, we had a lot of people coming in the door. I wasn't quite sure what we were doing. I had nightmares the night before of standing alone in the kitchen, not knowing what the menu is, not having any cooks, not having any food in the kitchen. I think I was naked, you know. One of the naked dream that everybody has. What Campanile is, even if we're using foie gras, even if we're using truffles, it has to have a connection, kind of a connection to the soul. When we have a really good menu, when I've got a new product and it's particularly beautiful, particularly pristine and gorgeous, and everything is done exactly right, it gets me really happy. Really excited.
A good example is a simple bolognese.
We started making bolognese years ago because we would buy the prime rib, and because it's grated prime, it's got a fat cap on it, like about that thick, about 2 inches thick. And buried in that fat cap is a piece of meat, of the lifter meat, that's the same quality as a prime rib. It's absolutely spectacular meat, but it's weirdly shaped. It's kind of a triangle. It starts out about this wide and about that thick, and then it tapers down to like a little skinny piece and triangle, you know, so you can't really make a steak out of it. So we make a bolognese out of that piece of meat, which is a spectacular piece of meat. And by the time you marinate it and stew it and shred it and re-stew it and everything like that, it takes about 3 days. And I think it's that makes it so good. Not just the quality of meat, but the really slow process of making the bolognese. I think what has moved me the most, it's been a series of events, is how many people have come up and said how much they're gonna miss us. You know, business has been soft the last couple of 3 years. We've become part of the old guard, in a way. Eventually, you know, you can only lose money for so long. But when the announcement came that we were going to be closing, business about doubled. We hired a few more staff members. It's not easy to hire people and tell them, okay, you've got the job, but by the way, we're closing in 3 weeks. But they've been doing double shifts. You know, people have been going home at 12:30 at night and coming back at 9:30 in the next morning. And for the most part, they've held their temper and really pulled through and really upheld the quality of what it is we want to do. The hardest part about closing a restaurant is it's emotional. It's kind of like losing a family. Walking in and seeing people that I really like and who do a great job and talking to them about menus and talking about the food and what are we going to do and how are we going to do it. It's just the whole lifeblood of what we do. It really is. I'm going to miss the family. People come here to have fun. People come here to enjoy themselves. That can't be said of all professions. Nobody goes to a lawyer because they're having such a good time. But people really enjoy coming here, and I have treasured that more than anything else.